Let me tell you something. Have you ever been to a show and you're like this? That's exactly the way I was at Cirque du Soleil, okay? Cirque du Soleil is like amazing. And then the music was like, duh, 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 duh. And it was, it was amazing. And it just makes you feel like, oh, I can't look, I can't look, I can't look. I mean, literally speaking, that's how I was at Cirque du Soleil. And I absolutely love them. But the music and Cirque du Soleil together is just amazing. And let me tell you, I got a guest today. His name is Conrad. You guys know I love music. Conrad, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, let me tell you something. So I got to go back. A little bit. We got to go back in time. When did you get involved in music? Because Cirque du Soleil without music is just like a movie without music. It just doesn't work.
The music is a big part of Cirque du Soleil, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually started as a boy soprano in Seattle, Washington. Formal training, we were singing early music, a cappella music in Latin. And then that led to me performing as a boy soprano with Seattle Opera. And then I started studying piano, French horn, bass guitar, harpsichord, all sorts of private lessons. It was all classical music until I was in high school, and then you start getting into jazz band and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And so music is kind of like one of those things that was just like in you from the get-go.
My father's side of the family, they were touring musicians with the big bands back in the 1930s. That's when my grandparents met. And my dad was an amateur opera singer. So some of my earliest memories at 4 years old was headphones, listening to Pavarotti, listening to musical theater soundtracks.
And so musical theater, let me ask you a question, because I know that you have some musicals that you have done, some originals. Tell me about this.
So, yeah, I've written 4 original musical theater works. The first one was Witches, which was about the Salem witch trials. The second one is Pan, which is a retelling of J.M. Barrie's famous Peter Pan and Wendy story, which, by the way, I just found out yesterday is going to have another run up in Washington State in 2025.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's the world premieres of a musical is fun, but it's always exciting then to get the subsequent runs after that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Then my third musical was Romeo and Juliet. I set my music to William Shakespeare's original English text, which has never been done successfully. So the debate can be out whether I was successful in that or not. The full community theater premiere is on my YouTube channel if people want to watch it. And my fourth original musical, it went up right before the pandemic in November 2019. It's called Pray the Gay Away, and it's the story of 2 young boys going through gay conversion therapy. And that was, as you can imagine, a very intense project.
That must have been. I mean, how did you do that?
We did a lot of workshops, a lot of focus groups with church groups, as well as LGBTQ support groups, because it's a very delicate subject.
Oh, yeah.
The run went really well, and I'm slowly releasing excerpts of that on my YouTube channel. And coming up later this year, I'm going to release the full musical for people can watch for free.
Oh, wow. So you got so much going on. So you do have social media music as well. I mean, I think you got publishing, you got the studio works, you got the musicals, you got the publishing, you got all of this stuff. And now you got the Cirque du Soleil. I mean, we could be here for a long time.
So, what's funny? So I ran a recording studio from 1989 to 2005 in Southern California. And on my own time, I created a lot of novelty music that was just fun for me. And people gave me such a hard time. I mean, I have the studio and it was just fun for me. That music now is used a lot on social media. As soon as shorts hit a few years ago, my novelty music is perfect for shorts. Yeah, so all this weird stuff I've been doing for 30 years finally people are like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Oh my gosh. So we're looking at a video right here. And what is this? What are they doing?
So that is the show that I'm working on right now
Mhm.
as a band leader and keyboardist. That's the Cirque du Soleil ice skating show, Crystal.
Oh, nice.
And I've been touring with them since the relaunch after the pandemic in May
Mhm.
of 2022. It's a world tour, an arena tour.
Mhm.
We're usually in a different town every week,
Wow.
sometimes a different country every week. But
Mm.
right now, we're doing a sit down in Sao Paulo, Brazil, which is where
Okay.
I am right now, and we're here for over 3 months.
Oh wow, that must be kind of cool though. I mean, you're stationary for 3 months. Stationary as a touring musician for 3 months. That's like 3 days is stationary, but this is more
Right.
like residency.
It's a blessing for all of us. Just before this interview, I ran into a coworker in the elevator, and they were holding a plant.
Ah,
And I've never seen that. And I was like, is that for your apartment? And they said, yeah, because
see?
normally we're moving so quickly. We don't
I
have
knew
time
it.
for that.
I knew it. I was like, this is like, forget it. It's like, okay, 3 days is like, okay, so you can definitely say, okay, we are like hanging out for 3 days. But 3 months is like residence, like you moving in. Like you, that's
We're going to get to know
there.
Sao Paulo, and so far we're loving it.
Oh, that is wonderful. So you're doing the show, and I wanted to go ahead and go over this because this is amazing. I mean, the tour of Cirque du Soleil, when you got this originally, and I know you got all of your, and you guys can go to the website because this is the website. It's scrolling down underneath it, so you don't have to ask me where it is and where it's at. But you got your YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and your LinkedIn pages there. But you've been in a lot of places. What has it been like to be a part of this entire tour? And is this something that you've done, for a while, or did you just now start?
Well, I started with Cirque du Soleil in 2008.
Mm.
The first show I did with them was called Zaya, and it was a resident show in Macau, China. So
Mm-hmm.
we went traveling with the show. And then I did the world tour of Veracay, where it was also an arena tour, new city every week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and now Crystal, my third show with Cirque du Soleil, is also an arena tour. Yeah, I've toured since my mid 20s.
Wow.
But a lot of the tours I did, we would go out, we would fly out for a week or two, do shows, and then be back home.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, I haven't been on the road all the time, but with Cirque du Soleil, you're on the road a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And you have a life. I mean, when you think about this, did you ever think that this would be something that you would be doing for a profession and that you would be out like this?
When I was very young, when I was like in fifth grade, I knew I was going into music, but I thought I was going to be an opera singer.
Oh,
So
okay.
me learning piano was just so I could play the classical pieces I was singing.
Mm.
Learning French horn was just to get more familiar with the orchestral sounds. When I was 19, I auditioned for the opera, and they said with Seattle Opera, after I'd been in several operas with them as a boy, and they said, well, you can be in the chorus. And I go, well, the chorus? What about a paid role? And they
Right.
said, oh, you can't get a lead role at best until you're like 30. The male voice needs to settle. And I remember saying to the person, you mean I'm going to have to study for 10 years and then find out if there's any work? And they said, yes.
Oh no.
So I started working as a
Oh no.
piano player the next week. And it just so happened that shows always need a piano player and a music director. So no, I never thought of being a music director. It just happened over time.
Mm.
And same thing with the recording studio. I never
Mhm.
planned to open a recording studio. It just kind of happened because people were always asking me to record tracks for them.
Wow. That is amazing though. I mean, what you're doing with Cirque du Soleil and what you're doing now, what are you doing on your end? What is the goal here? I know that you are in São Paulo. You're there as, you're taking up a whole quarter of a year here. What does the future look like for you?
So I never know exactly what the future will hold. I just always do my best work on each show, and then the next ones just seem to come my way. I'm very blessed and lucky that way.
But I am so happy for you. This is just an amazing thing for you to be doing. Are you going to be writing a book, or have you written a book, or what is going on?
No,
Come
I save all my energy for producing the music.
No, you got to write a book about this, darling. You got at least do an audio book about your travels. I mean, people really would love that.
A lot of times I'll have people tell me stories about things I've experienced that I've forgotten about. Friends have to remind me, remember this, remember that. So I would need a team of friends to help me write that book.
Well,
and have it be interesting.
All of you guys, you have like how long you're gonna be there on residency? I mean, you guys, you're blind plants. Go ahead and write a book. But wow, thank you so much, Conrad, for being on the show. I totally appreciate it. It's been such a pleasure. Is there anything that you would like to tell people that we missed today?
Just that I'm active on a lot of the social media channels, but YouTube is where I upload a lot of what I think are interesting videos and new music. If people want to follow me, check out YouTube. Like I said, I have over 700 videos on that channel now.
Wow, that is so good. And we have the link in the description over there with the QR code in the corner. And also the website is down, it's scrolling right underneath us. And it will be in the description box below so that you can get that. And if you're watching on TV, then the QR code and the website is going to be your best friend. Because, you know, I found that people were complaining, oh, I couldn't get to the site. I didn't know what it was. There it is, right? ConradAskland.com. Right there. All right. And also the YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And Conrad, thank you so much for being on the show. I truly, truly appreciate it. It's been such a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you guys. And don't forget to dare to be different. Until next time, guys, go after your dreams, man. I'm telling you. And take up residency for 3 months in Brazil. Why not? I'm telling you. Hey, get a plant.